Welcome back to Fairfax Pilates. I'm Brittany, and today's Pilates class is mat-based Pilates power. So short and sweet, but making sure we're focusing on lots of lumbar mobility and core strength. So when you're ready, let's begin. All right, let's begin. So we're going to start seated with our knees bent, and we're going to kick things off with our half roll back, arms in front. We round through the spine, we roll backwards, and inhale coming forward. Exhale, curl the tail under, roll back, and then diving forward over those legs. We are emphasizing the mobility of our spine here. So as you roll back, we are trying to create as much flexion in the low back as possible. Keep that flexion and dive it over the legs. Again, exhale, rolling backward, and then inhale, diving forward, stacking up tall for neck pull prep. Curving the tail again, rolling back, and then we dive that shape over the thighs. From here, we build our spine to tall. Again, lengthen the low back by rounding, and then driving that shape over the thighs, and we rise up to that straight back. So the main difference here with the neck pull is the weight of the arms at the head, and then that neutral place right there, curving under as we roll back, diving that shape forward over legs, and then building up tail to top. Again, think length in the back, and then diving that shape over. Those arms are heavy. We should get a little extra tax on the abs there. Okay, so now we're going to flip right on over to our stomachs, and let's get some breaststroke preps in here. Wide feet, we're pressing into the forearms and lifting the upper back. Exhale back to the mat. Inhale, we float up and away from the floor, and then exhale back down, we melt. Legs are uninvolved here, keeping them nice and rested, and then lower down. Now we're going to send the arms behind here to the sides, and we reach up. And as we roll down, let the shoulders just round forward. Open the chest, float up. Fingers are trying to reach back toward the toes, so open the chest, flex up, and then down. Hands to forehead. Final here on this version, we lift on the exhale breath. Inhale, return. Again, let's try to keep those legs steady without squeezing through the glutes here, just focusing on the upper back. Now we're going to add a turn. So we're going to rotate to one side, flat down, and then toward the other. I usually just anchor one of my elbows down. Let's try to keep the hips still, and we're just rotating that upper thoracic spine. Rotate on the inhale, exhale to neutral, and again, we rotate and to neutral. So we're just going to keep this up here, a few on each side, really just trying to stimulate all the muscles in the back here, all the back extensor muscles. Okay, and then let's take it back up for a swan, really big back extension there. And then let's tuck it under and find our downward dog. So we're going to lift high hips, and I like to just pedal out the feet there. If you want to sink both heels, go for it. As I'm warming up here, I prefer to just do that alternating dog walking. Keep the shoulders away from the ears though, and be really mindful about the space you're creating in the low back in particular. Okay, and then from here, we're going to come forward and onto the knees, walking our hands forward for a tricep push-up. So take the chest all the way to the mat and up. Got a nice narrow arm here, so your elbows are brushing the rib cage every time you come up. 5, 6, 7, one more time. We're going to come down to that halfway mark and then pulse it out. 2, 3, and 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and then all the way up, and then take it back. Take a little bit of a stretch there. Okay, from here, we're going to go to hands and knees, reaching one arm up toward the ceiling, and then thread that arm under, lay the head and shoulder down, open up the upper back. Just move with your breath. Inhale, we reach it up, and then exhale, thread the needle underneath. And then one more, open, thread it under. This feels so good across the shoulders and the upper back. Switching sides, of course, we inhale, take the arm up, and then exhale, we thread the needle under. using the right hand here for leverage. So the left arm goes up, and as we take it around, really drive the arm into the right side there so that you can get more rotation. Final time, open, and then exhale, underneath we go. Okay, and then from here, we're going to turn around, so we're in a sitting position, and we're going to have our knees bent for some bridges here. So walk the feet in close to your buns, and we're going to lift up and then articulate down. So always the theme of all of our mat-based work is in the mobility and the strength of our back. Tail scoops, float up one vertebrae at a time, and then a slow melt back to the mat. Okay, we're going to come up and stay, and then right into a tabletop, and then an alternating tabletop. We call these marching bridges. You're going to hold your body nice and still, and we're just floating tabletop and tabletop. So the challenge here is in not allowing either side of the hip to drop. You want to keep the glutes squeezing up. Keep the arms. The arms are fine. We're going to keep the abs engaged. So lots of obliques here on both sides, keeping that stability. Really, the working powerhouse is in what is not moving. All right, so hugging the knees in, little side to side rocking, and then as you're ready, you're going to start rolling like a ball. This feels, again, nice on the low back for mobility. We're rocking and rolling here, mainly because it feels good, right? Okay, and then just take the legs forward and just give a little stretch there. Yeah, just take a little visual measurement of how far you can reach, always challenging yourself to be as flexible as you can here, especially in the back body. Okay, and then from here, let's take it all the way down onto our back, this big X stretch. So the hands wide, feet wide. We're going to take one leg, crisscross it over, and then reaching the same side hand over. So we have this beautiful lateral stretch. Just pause there for a couple of seconds, and then we're going to take the opposite foot over, cross the ankle, and then same side arm reaches to the side. And we get that nice lateral bend. Okay, so then we're going to take the left leg over the right, and we're going to keep going with just the hips. Upper body fixed. We're just taking the spine into parts and just allowing your body to move freely and functionally, so it's not just this stiff body. And then let's do the same with the upper body. So the legs are grounded, and then we're just taking the right arm over, crisscross, and rotate, and then back to flat. All right, so those legs are hip distance. Let's do our roll-ups here. So your back should be warmed up and ready to go. And then we're curving under and down we go. So if you're having trouble with your roll-ups, I've got this great roll-up video, how to do roll-ups. I'm gonna put it in the link below so you have an opportunity to work on that if you are struggling here. You can always use some hand weights to help you come up and forward, but really if your core is strong and your low back is flexible, roll-ups should not be impossible. Take your time. Again, we're that peeling, the sequential movement of the vertebrae in our back to peel forward and then also to roll back down. We're going to shoot for about 8 of these roll-ups. Let's get one more time here. Arms forward and flex all the way forward. Reach, reach, reach. All right, and then let's open those feet about the width of the mat, spine twist. And 1, 2, 3. Center, turn, 2, 3, middle, exhale, 3, middle, exhale. Every time, pulse, 2, 3. Hands at the head, same, 1, 2, 3, center, 1, 2, 3. Now don't let your legs move. Keep your upper thoracic spine the one doing the movement here. We want to be twisting from the waist up. You should feel all your upper back muscles working here. Okay, again, that forward stretch. Okay, enjoy the stretch. And then we're gonna lay down onto our backs. We're gonna go into a bit of an ab series here. So support the head in the hands, tabletop the legs. And we're going with the single leg stretch legs without using the hands, right? So we're just holding the upper body here. Reach and reach. Now we're gonna 1, 2, 3 on that rotation, 2. These progressive rotations, up, more, most, twist, 2, 3, change sides, 1 and 2 and 3, and 1 and 2 and 3 every time, pulse, pulse. Changing this tempo here really makes a huge impact on your overall strength. So let's play with the tempo. Up, more, most. Up, more, most. Good, so those legs are just hanging out right there in tabletop, and you're taking your upper body to the thighs, going into scissors. 1, 2, change, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this obviously is a lot of work in the abs. We're also getting those hip flexors, and we are holding the foot as it comes towards us to get that added little bonus of that hamstring stretch. Now let's take both legs up, hands at the head, and we are just crunching up. Now if your hip flexors are dying here and your hamstrings aren't straight, no worries, keep your knees bent, and we're still going up and forward towards either the thighs or the feet here. 6, 7, one more time, and now legs go down. We're bending in and out. Keep your imprint. Your low back has to be grounded to the mat here. In and out, in and out. So this is like bend and stretch with the feet in the straps, but of course we have no help here. All right, one more roll up. I love to squeeze that one in, always at the end of an ab routine. Okay, we're gonna flip over. Let's stretch out those hip flexors a bit. We just used them a lot. Swimming prep, one arm opposite leg. The other side is grounded. We do the prep because we're really gonna go for height here. So you work the flexion of the shoulder and then the hip extension here. Alternating lift and lift. The rest of the body is stationary and strong. Up, up. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and float everything there for breaststroke. Reach and then around. So the arms are both up and we're lifting up and around. So we've got shoulder mobility, back extension, of course, core strength, win, win, win. Reach and around. Reach and around, and then we're going to hold it here, do the little swimming with the legs first, and then we're going to take it into our beats. So you can have your hands at your forehead, 2, 3, 4, flex, 2, 3, 4, point, 4, flex, inhale, point, exhale, flex, point, 2, 3, 4, flex, 2, 3, 4, find rhythmic breath there. 2, 3, 4, flex, 2, 3, 4. And now let's take a swan, stretch it out. And then lowering down. Take one more down dog. We're gonna just walk it out again, really pushing weight into the opposite leg and hip. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then we're coming down into our hands and our knees. Okay, so from here, hands under shoulders, knees below the hips. And let's go through that cat stretch. You notice the theme here with the lumbar mobility. So I've really turned my focus to the lumbar mobility and in fact the spinal mobility given the number of people who want help with their roll-ups. Okay, so now we're gonna hover the knees and we're gonna get that same flexion of the spine. So after you hold, you find strength and we're gonna curve and then neutral. So meanwhile, we got these abs that are working here. We're flexing and we're neutral, and we're flexing and we're neutral. So just holding this is working all sorts of things. This is kind of like a plank. So you're getting a whole lot of goodness in one move. Flex and neutral. All right, take a quick little stretch there. Maybe take both hands over to one side. And then of course over to the other side. And now we're going to do our bird dog. So one arm opposite leg, tap, lift. We're going to keep our back in neutral table position. 5, 6, 7. We're going to hold it up on 8 and then side, middle. Keep your foot pointed down. So we're dorsiflexed, the toes pointing towards the ground. 5, 6, 7, and again, 8. Okay, and then we're changing sides. Bird dog to start. Tap and lift, tap and lift. So we're paying attention to the shoulder girdle on the supporting arm, and of course the core is strong and stable. Side, middle, side, middle, and 4, 5, 6, 7. One more time, and then take the knees down. Enjoy that little stretch there. Okay, and then we're going to come all the way back down. Let's get a nice hip flexor and quad stretch. Make sure the knee is touched in towards this, both towards like parallel, right under the hips. And we want to hold this for anywhere between 20 and 40 seconds. I'm just doing a basic count, so I'm about 8. Count like if I was doing repetitions, doing about 8. And then I'm going to switch sides. You can do whatever you want with your head. I like to just support it under my bent arm. Drive the hip down so the pelvis pushes towards the ground here as we're holding the foot, so we have a nice lengthening feel in the front body. Hip flexor tightness almost always correlates to low back pain, so let's make sure that we keep everything pliable so we are injury free and strong. All right, let's go ahead and flip to our rotation planks here. So we are holding our plank body, feet are stationary, and we're twisting, twisting, twisting. Great way to just, again, mobilize the back, work those obliques. All right, speaking of obliques, let's turn to the side for lateral plank. So we're gonna stay on a bent knee on the bottom, bend the elbow and the knee to meet. Meanwhile, you're holding your body up nice and strong with the bottom side. 6 and 7 and 8, and then we hold it, and we're gonna just do lifts. 2. So driving that bottom elbow into the mat so that you're not sinking into the shoulder. Okay, and then just grab that foot and enjoy that bigger stretch here. I'm pulling it behind the body a bit. And then we'll do that, of course, on our other side. So forearm under shoulder, knee is bent on the bottom, and here we go. Reach and pull, and reach and pull. So really the arm and the leg are a distractor from the lower body, or the lower half there, that left side waist. And 2, and 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. And then grab the foot, take the stretch there. Try to pull the foot behind the body a bit there so you get that opening on the waist as well as the hip flexor and quads. And then we're going to wrap things up with a mermaid-like move. So side saddle with the knees, and we're reaching our hand up and away from our knees. Of course, do that on both sides. Try to be tension-free here. Relax your neck, your face, your throat, and just breathe. Okay, you made it. So that was a good almost 20 minutes of Pilates. Thank you for joining me. If you liked today's class, leave us a comment, share with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much, and have yourself an amazing day.